angels waging war in the unseen realm. Global events fulfilling biblical prophecy. Eternal life. What lies beyond mortality? From analyzing the paranormal from a biblical worldview to the discussion of cutting-edge science and technology, conspiracy, discovery, special investigative reports. Unafraid to explore the challenging issues facing humanity. Welcome to another edition of Skywatch TV.
If you've opened the cover of your Bible and decided that it was just too boring to read, to really get through it, then you and I had a lot alike. But thankfully, the Holy Spirit applied a sort of spiritual 2x4 to my head and opened my eyes, and hopefully the book that we're going to bring to you tonight will help you to do the same. Welcome to Skywatch TV. I'm Derek Gilbert. Joining me in studio tonight, the co-host of one of our programs that you'll find as a web exclusive from Skywatch TV, skywatchtv.com, Josh Peck, host of Into the Multiverse.
How you doing, Derek?
And our guest, who's a New York Times best-selling author of The Harbinger and the Mystery of the Shemitah, brings us his new book, which we are honored to present here, The Book of Mysteries, which is a very apt way of describing the Holy Bible. It is our honor to welcome Rabbi Jonathan Cahn to Skywatch TV. Jonathan, welcome.
Great to be here. Great to be here.
Thank you. The Book of Mysteries. Well, before we dive into the book here, both of your previous books attracted an awful lot of attention. The Harbinger and The Mystery of the Shemitah, both very prophetic in their orientation. Where do you see the United States now in light of what you researched and were led to find in those books?
Yeah. Well, the template of the Harbinger is, in the last days of ancient Israel, it's a nation heading for judgment, and there are certain signs that appear. Those signs have appeared all in America, and it has not stopped. That's the progression is a nation that's warned but continues to accelerate in its path away from God. Well, that's what's happening to America. Since the Harbinger came out, I mean, it's a warning, it's a trumpet sound, but it has not only has it not stopped, it has accelerated.
We are reveling in it seems.
Yeah, we're saying things we never I mean, we know from prophecy, but we never actually saw this in our life. I mean, the beginnings of persecution, brazen defiance, abominations, and for instance, in this last year, America struck down marriage. This is gigantic. One of the signs of the end or the judgment, what preceded it in days of Israel was an act of desecration. Well, to take marriage is a sacred cup of God, a sacred vessel. To do that, to change it is a desecration. And actually that decision of the Supreme Court about a year ago came on the 9th of Tammuz, which is the day that in the Bible, the hedges of Jerusalem were removed and judgment came on that day. So we're really racing in every way, and it has not stopped. We're seeing at the same time, I just heard this last night. There was I don't know if you heard this before, but there were plans to do something concerning the Temple of Baal in New York City. Well, it didn't stop. It stopped, but I just heard it's been revived now for September. Now the thing is that Baal, for those who don't know, in the Harbinger, that's what they were worshiping. They turned away from God that they knew, and they worshiped Baal. So all these things, overtly, barely a day goes by in the news where you don't see another sign of America rapidly, not only going against God, calling what is evil good, but also calling what is good evil, persecution of believers more and more and more. As far as a note on the Shemitah, for those who don't know, that's a 7-year cycle where things have happened on that time. I've always cautioned you can't put God in a box. God doesn't have to do anything. However, the predominant pattern of the Shemitah actually did manifest, which is that for the first time in the year of the Shemitah, it was actually the worst year for the stock market since 2008 in 7 years. It was the worst global trade collapse for the first time since the last Shemitah. It was one after the other, actually, and you actually had some of the greatest crashes in world history. Most of them happened in Elul. It was around August. You had Black Monday. So there's much more. But the fact is, the overall progression did, and that. But more than all that is, we are clearly racing away from God as a nation, and we are clearly in danger of judgment. That's what we have to take stock of.
Right. I think you make a good point. There are some times where we're so close to the trees that we can't see the forest, and I think as we look back in the rearview mirror, the picture will become more clear to us that we did pass a turning point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I believe. Yeah. The word. Turning point is good, and tipping point is good too. Because a few years ago, I believe we crossed a tipping point, and where the majority were in favor, basically just redefining what God said for marriage. But we have now, I believe now the ball is rolling down the hill. So it's accelerating. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So, we have this election, whenever, coming up, crazy election. But the thing is that it won't take another president who's an activist to push these things. All that is needed now is one who will not be strong to stop it, and it will accelerate.
Yeah,
right.
We've even got religious leaders now asking the question openly in the New York Times: is God transgender? It's
Oh, yeah.
I don't. I know we have a lot to do, but it's like one of the signs of the end times. It's not just in darkness; it's polarization. That the grays disappear, and so what we're watching is, what was gray, nominal Christianity, is going to be disappearing. It's going to go to either total darkness, or those who stand will be the lights. But we have to be the lights.
Yeah. Well, your book, The Book of Mysteries, has got a very unique organization. Talk about why you chose to write the book this way. And I guess people who are familiar with the previous two books, we know that the Harbinger was written as a fictional format. The Shemitah, Mystery of the Shemitah, was nonfiction.
Right.
So now this book here, it's almost somewhere in the middle. It's almost a hybrid. What led to the unique format of the Book of Mysteries? Yeah,
well, in some way, it goes back to, in a sense, with the Harbinger. After I originally wrote a nonfiction, but then it's like the Lord just spoke, and I said, change the whole thing and rewrite the whole thing so that it's deep, that you can reach more people. The Lord used parables and these things to reach more people. So that's why the Harbinger is fact, but it's framed in a narrative. So same here. I was led, first of all, a little bit different too. I was led that there's tough times coming ahead, and God's people have to be strong, nourished, fed, close to God, and so this is a bit different in some ways. Now, the Harbinger, in one sense, is the unveiling of a mystery. So is the Shemitah. This is the unveiling of hundreds of mysteries. And so I was led to put it similarly. It just came to me that put a narrative around it. So what it is that it's the revealing of hundreds of mysteries of God, but the thing is that it is done through a narrative where a man is traveling, kind of a traveler in the desert, encounters a man who's named the teacher. The teacher ends up revealing these mysteries for 1 year in the desert. Takes some through mountaintops, caverns, chambers of scrolls, vessels, all these things. And every day it's another revealing. So you're seeing all these mysteries, but it's very easy because they're very deep, but it's very easy to get it because they're talking. This is like the record of the disciple of what the teacher showed him and told him. So it's their conversation, like in the Harbinger.
Yeah.
And at the end, there's always a mission every day that the teacher gives the disciple, which is really for you who are reading it. So you're really to apply it to your life and to change your life. So you're really the reader is taken on a journey for a year. So it ends up being 365. So it ends up being a kind of devotional, unlike a devotional, but it's also, you can read it once a day. You can read it right through, although it's so concentrated, you probably want to stop for it. And you can also just look in the back. All the mysteries are listed. You could just go from mystery to mystery. So it exists in several realms.
Yeah, I know Josh and I have been sitting here very frantically, reading through the index here. Yes, trying to come up with the most compelling titles.
You have 365 chapters.
We could almost just open it on a day.
Yeah, I think for us, reading one page a day would be difficult for you and I, because these chapters are really short.
Yes.
But they're packed full of information.
It's both. I mean, I won't say I just was doing another. I just started speaking about it. This is one of the first programs I've ever did. I just did one before, and they were torn between trying to, because they want to get to the next one, and then on the other hand saying I can't go that. If I go too fast, I'm not digesting because there's so much there.
Right,
really
right.
So much there.
And really, that's the way the Bible is.
Yeah.
Though. As we dig into the Bible, my wife and I just recently, about a year ago, started doing a weekly Bible study that we record and put online, and we found that as we read through it verbally, there's so much more there than when we're actually trying to read to get our quota for the day.
Even in just a single verse, there have been times I've read one verse, over and over again, and kind of passed over, but then just sometimes, like the 2x4 you were talking about,
Yeah.
there's something beautiful in there.
Right.
Well, there's no end. I mean, because a book is as deep as its author. There's no end to the depth of the Bible. There's no end to the mysteries of the Bible. There's no end to it at all. And
Amen.
so you'll see it has mysteries of the end times, mysteries of heaven, mysteries of the bride and groom, mysteries of the 8th day, mystery of the holy days of Israel, mystery of finding your destiny. And everyone is also to be practical in the same way. But there's so many mind-blowing things from God.
Yeah.
And some of them are also in streams that they start out. Some of them where there's a mystery, but it keeps on throughout the book. Something will happen. It gets deeper until the end. It concludes. So several of there are streams of mysteries as well as individual mysteries.
I like how you described that there's no end to the mysteries of God. And in reading your book, that comes alive, but also there is a beginning. And you open the book with the mystery of the temple. What can you tell us about that?
Or the mysteries, that's sort of a collection of different mysteries, are what could be called the temple mysteries. And there's several of them. I'll just mention one or two of them. One is called the mystery priest or the secret priest. Now, let me put it this way here. God always has the changing of the guard. You have Elijah go to Elisha, you have Moses to Joshua, you have a blessing usually. But here you have the new covenant comes. Where's the changing of the guard? Or where is the blessing from the old covenant? Or even, listen, you have a new priesthood. Where's the blessing from the old priesthood? You have a change, and yet, the priesthood was corrupt. It was Caiaphas. You're not going to get that.
Right.
But God did have it. There was one who represents the priesthood of Aaron as well as the old covenant, whose birth was literally announced in the temple, who was descended from Aaron, not just on his father's side, but his mother's side, a total priest and we know him, the world knows him as John the Baptist.
Yes.
But he is a Kohanim, he is a son of Aaron, he is the priest. What the priest did is they cleansed the people. They were cleansing them, getting them right with God and calling them to get cleansed. That's what he did. That's what he did in the wilderness. That's the whole thing with that. And the thing is that with John here, so what happens is you have this thing, this whole thing, why was Messiah baptized? He doesn't need that. But what you're watching there is the changing of the guards. Here is the priesthood of Aaron, and John representing that, and representing the whole old covenant. And you have bearing witness to the new. And so here's the new priesthood. Messiah is not of Aaron; he's after the Melchizedek.
Right.
So you have this thing, and this transference. And then Messiah. That's when Messiah's ministry begins. But it has to begin there. Where Yochanan, that's actually where Moses ended, is at the end of the wilderness. And here's the beginning, but it has to begin. It's the beginning of Messiah's ministry, but God always has that witness. It actually there's a whole thing. It goes back to Melchizedek, but you always have that. That's just one little thing.
Yeah, and a transfer from the tribe of Levi to the tribe of Judah.
Yeah, you have. I'll just say how much it goes with this. There's a mystery of Melchizedek goes with this.
Right.
You have Melchizedek. He is both priest and king. And actually, the name Melchizedek is Malki Tzedek. Malki means king, and Tzedek, the priest was righteousness. The priest was in charge of making righteous. So you have priest and king, but you can never have that again. Nobody can be a priest and a king. They go both ways. He blesses Abraham. On one hand, you have the priesthood. Through Abraham comes Levi, priesthood, Aaron, and you have Judah and David, the king. But it can never come together until Messiah. So Messiah is already the king. He's already born of the kingly line, but not of the priestly line. But the priestly line, that's linked to the Tzedek, because Melchizedek and Tzedek, that means righteousness. So when he goes to John and John says, no, you should be, I should be baptized by you. You're greater. You're the greater. He says, do this, must be done so righteousness be fulfilled, which is Tzedek.
Yeah.
Tzedek, Melchizedek, coming back to Messiah.
Wow, beautiful. We need to take a break, but we want to do that so that we can tell you how to get your own copy of the Book of Mysteries and do it, with some additional things that we'd like to offer, as we always do at Skywatch TV. When we come back, I want to talk about the mystery of the 8th day. We know that God created everything, declared it good, and then rested on the 7th day. What happened when the cycle started again on day number 8? We'll find out when Skywatch TV continues after this.
Could there exist ancient mysteries that have never been unlocked? Are there secrets waiting thousands of years to be uncovered? Are there hidden keys that can transform your life into one of joy, victory, success, fulfillment, and blessing? Imagine if you could have a treasure chest that contained ancient mysteries, the secrets of the ages, the answers to our most enduring questions, and the keys to transforming your life. This is what you'll get in the Book of Mysteries by Jonathan Cahn, author of the New York Times bestsellers, The Harbinger and The Mystery of the Shemitah. As you open up the Book of Mysteries, you will be transported on a journey through a desert to encounter a man known only as the Teacher, who will take you on an odyssey to mountaintops, caverns, encampments of tent dwellers, and oil-lit chambers of scrolls, ancient books, and mysterious vessels, to open the mysteries of the age and your life. Unlock such mysteries as the portal, the mystery of the eighth day, the Maccabean blueprint, the bridegroom's visitation, the seven mysteries of the age, and much more. Enter a one-year odyssey with 365 different mysteries, one for every day of the year. Begin your journey, open up the treasures, unlock the mysteries, and change your life with the Book of Mysteries by Jonathan Cahn, available where all books are sold.
Jonathan Cahn, the best-selling author of The Harbinger and Mystery of the Shemitah, brings his brand new book to Skywatch TV. The Book of Mysteries, officially released September 6th. It's a story, a journey, and a daily devotional like no other. And when you order the Book of Mysteries from Skywatch TV, we'll include The Mystery of the Shemitah, 2 Jonathan Cahn DVDs, The 6 Heavenly Entities, and The Cosmic Bride and Bridegroom, 2 free promotional gift books, and a 1-year subscription to the new Skywatch TV magazine. It's a total value of more than $100, yours for just $25. Or you can order a 10-pack, 10 copies of all the books and DVDs, gifts for your friends. Total value of more than $1,000, yours for just $199. This offer is only available from Skywatch TV. Order the Jonathan Cahn Book of Mysteries bundle today by calling toll-free 844-750-4985. That's 844-750-4985. Or log on to skywatchtvstore.com. Welcome back to Skywatch TV. I'm Derek Gilbert along with Josh Peck. And we invite you to check out the web-exclusive content that we offer at skywatchtv.com. Additional interviews that we just couldn't fit into the network television schedule, an additional interview with Rabbi Jonathan Cahn, for example, but also programs that are only offered through the website. Our daily news updates, Josh's program, Into the Multiverse, our weekly look at science through a biblical lens, Sci Friday. All of that available only at skywatchtv.com and the Skywatch TV channel on Roku. Jonathan, the mystery of the eighth day, I'd never really thought about that. We think in the 7-day cycle, the seventh day, the Sabbath, day of rest. What happens when the cycle starts up again? What is the mystery of the eighth day?
That is right. Yeah, well, here's the thing. There's a day on the Hebrew calendar. It's the most mysterious day in the Bible. It's the mystery day. It is the absolute most mysterious. It's the very last day of the sacred year. You have tabernacles, but then you got this extra day, that's the eighth day. It's called Shemini Atzeret, which means the gathering of the eighth day. Very end. Now think about it. 7 is is completion. It's the completion. It's the end of the week. That's it. 7. So what's 8? Because 8 shouldn't exist. There's no eighth day of the week. But 8th is the day that breaks the barrier. 8th is the day of transcendence. 8th is the day of infinity. Actually, you put an 8 on its side. It's the symbol of infinity. Symbol. But 8th is the day of the beyond. It's a new beginning, but it's also the day that breaks out of the pattern. So interesting thing is when you read the Bible and you get to Revelation, and Revelation, you have 7, 7, 7, everything
over
7
and over again.
Until you get to the very end, you get the last 2 chapters. There's no more 7s. There's more. Then it's eternity. Then it's heaven, and that's the eighth day. And the thing is, that's what it's about. And there's some amazing things about this day, that's a mystery day, that the Jewish people do, and they don't even understand fully. One of the things that happens is on the eighth day, on this holy day, the scrolls are rolled up and started again, and the other scrolls are opened up. At the end of the Bible, he said everything rolled up like a scroll. They all create, and a new creation begins. And one of the scrolls that's opened up, it begins with Bereshit Adonai. In the beginning, God created. Well, what's it at the very end of the Bible? God created the heavens, a new heaven and a new earth, the eighth day. Plus, another thing that's opened up is the book of Joshua, which is all about, it opens up crossing the Jordan. You're at the end of the journey, end of the wilderness. Now we cross over to the promised land. The eighth day is eternity. The eighth day is what is yet to come. Interesting, and not only what's to come, the eternity is the eighth day, but not only but also that Messiah rose on the eighth day. He rose on the first day, but it was also the eighth day. the resurrection breaks the barriers and all, and we gather, everybody's different, but many believers gather when? Sunday. But Sunday is the 8th day, not only the first day. We are children of the 8th day. We're to live beyond barriers, beyond the physical, we're to live in the 8th day even now. And I'll just throw in one more. I'm just doing a few of the things that are there. But one is shemen. The word for the symbol of the Spirit in the Bible is oil, in one of the key ones. And in Hebrew, the word is shemen, shemen, oil. But shemen comes from the word 8, the number 8. It's a straight shemeni. In the Spirit is how we live in the 8th, beyond limitation, beyond time. We can actually live in the 8th day now, enter the heavenly realm now.
So we're limited through the flesh to the 7th, the 8th day. Okay.
And that's something that we've talked about too a lot, like on Into the Multiverse and things. But there's something that I've been studying, not publicly, just in my own private study, that to me was such a big confirmation that you cover this, and because it really is one of the most beautiful revelations in the entire Bible. And so I've got to ask, the mystery of the bride and groom. This revelation ties together the entire Bible.
Yes, totally.
What can you tell us?
I love it. I love it. Yeah,
me too.
And what happened? And that's one of the mysteries that there's many mysteries. One of them that goes through a progression throughout the book.
Yeah.
And let me give you an example of the picturesque part of it. The teacher in the desert, there are tent dwellers in where they are, and who live kind of on a biblical way from the first century. And so throughout the book, they're witnessing the Hebrew marriage or the biblical marriage. They go down to the tent, they watch the woman and how she prepares, and so there's several mysteries here, but I'll just give the overview of this, is that in the Hebrew marriage, in order to have a marriage, the bridegroom had to make a journey from his house to her house. So in the book, he's journeying from one tent village to the other. And so 2,000 years ago, if God is the bridegroom, he must journey from his house to our house. No matter where we live, he's the God who comes to us. He made the journey to time and space. And then in the mystery, they covenant together, they share a cup of wine together, and they are considered betrothed, husband and wife. And then he leaves and departs back to his father's house. And so what happens? So Messiah covenants with us. There's a bridal price called the mohar that the bridegroom has to give a price of his love. Well, Messiah, the mohar, is salvation, is his life on the cross. But then the bridegroom has to go home. So Messiah says, I must be going. I have to leave. I have to go back to my father's house, but I'm preparing a place. The bridegroom then prepares a place for the bride. The bride prepares herself for the bridegroom. So they spend this time in separation, and so, which is where we are right now, until the great day of the wedding, when the bridegroom comes one more time, but now in glory, usually at night with torches and dressed as a king, comes on this big procession. It happens in the book. It comes on a procession. Well, that's of course the second coming. And then he comes this time to take her away. So he comes, he takes the bride, and he brings her back, and she looks back, she sees the old world disappearing, and she comes home to the house of the bridegroom. And I'll just say one thing here. Some of the mysteries here, the word for the bride in Hebrew is kala. Kala literally means the perfect one.
Wow.
The perfect one, as the bridegroom sees. And the bridegroom, the word is chatan. And chatan in Hebrew means the one who joins himself. God is the one who joins himself to us. We're not the ones, he's the one. He wants to be one with us more than we do. And one of the last mysteries in the book is when this mystery has come to a conclusion. It's called the two shall become one. And that's, but not just about a man and woman, but about God and us and eternity and heaven.
Prophetically, this is yet to come, and you delve into a number of the mysteries of the end times in the book.
Yes.
Pick out maybe one or two in the last few minutes that we have here for this program, and share, as you know.
Yes, I'll do one.
Yeah.
One of them is called the apostasia. Now we know that in the end days there shall be a great falling away. We're watching it all over. But the thing is that that comes from the word. It's apostasy. Comes from the word apostasia. Apostasia means apo, to fall away from, stasia, the stand. But it means more than that. So in other words, we got the first part. There'll be a great falling away from faith, from the stand. But it also means, it comes from the root word stasis. It means the falling away from the state of being as well. So the two go together. In the book, the teacher takes the student to a chamber of books and shows him words fading, but it shows a picture fading. And here's the thing. If we fall away from the faith and the word, if civilization falls away, then we will fall away from the state of being. So not only it's a mystery of the end times, are we watching a fall from the faith, we are watching a fall from the state of being. Man falling away from manhood, woman from womanhood, marriage from marriage, child from childhood, man from humanity. Though what we're watching is all part of this, because if you remove the creation came into being from the word, take away the word, and the creation loses its state of being.
Especially if we're supposed to be the image of God, and God's imagers. If you take that away, what are we?
Salt that has lost its saltiness. It's good for nothing.
Yeah, everything comes from that. It's what we're watching in the world is related to this.
Now, as you wrote the Book of Mysteries, you've got 365 individual sections.
Yes. Yes.
How difficult was it to come up with 365?
Well, I didn't do it in one sitting. I'll tell you how much. That would go crazy. What I had to do is that every night, the only free time I had is 12 o'clock midnight to 6 or 7 in the morning. I said, Lord, I need you to give me 4 mysteries today. And so and to be completed, basically, so every day, no matter what, I had to have 4 mysteries come. So every day it was 4 mysteries, and finally it happened. And I prayed it. The cool thing is, it's also geared, even though you can read it at any time. There's no dates, but it's day 1, day 2, day 3. But you can read it at any time. But if you read it from January on, it actually will fall. The holy days will fall on basically where they fall.
Oh, wow.
But not only that, several of them I didn't even put in like that. When I look back, we found out they fell on the exact day. By accident, not by accident. It was like by design, but they fell on the exact day.
But not by your design.
No, not by our design.
Yeah.
So that's another thread. It actually matches with the holy days of Israel as you read it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And all the holy days are in there, of course.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. It is a unique way to go through the Bible and develop or rediscover that sense of mystery and wonder. I guess with just about half a minute, and I know there's not much time here. What was the most surprising mystery that was shown to you?
I appreciate the question. I can't.
Maybe we can tease that to the next week's
teaser for
program.
the next episode,
and we'll see what happens in the next episode. Yeah. But there's no end. God. God. He's just. It's just never ending.
Yeah.
The mysteries of God, and the more if we have to seek Him, I know you're wrapping up, but just with someone who has been in the Lord for 50, 60, 70 years, and he just said he just read the first one. He's very famous. Everybody knows him. He read the first one. He said it just changed his life. It just because to seek and to open up to everything that the Lord has. There's no end.
Yeah.
Wow.
But there's believer and non-believer alike. There's an altar call, the salvation call at the end. So it's good for people to give to people as well.
And that's what it's all about. If it doesn't point to Christ and Him crucified.
That's it.
Yeah. Jonathan Cahn, the new book is The Book of Mysteries, available as of September the 6th. SkywatchTVStore.com. With Josh Peck, I'm Derek Gilbert. We thank you for watching as we keep watch. This is Skywatch TV.